Hi there, I'm LEC Sales Engineer Matt Kreitz, and I'd like to welcome you to LEC's video series on iQ2. In today's installment, we'll go over the simple process for creating tags, as well as how to link an input tag to an output, so you could easily control devices while also monitoring another, like an elevated tank and a pump that services that tank. Now, this tutorial will only cover how to create tags within iQ2. The steps for creating those same tags on the edge routers, that will be covered in other videos. Now let's go ahead and get started. We begin on the dashboard page of the edge device you want to configure. At the top right corner of the screen, there are 3 lines. Clicking on those lines will bring up a menu. This is your navigation bar, and it's what you'll use to move from page to page with an iQ2. Now go ahead and click on Device Config. Once the page is loaded, you'll want to click on Add Tags. From here, select what type of tag you want to configure. Will it be an input or an output? In this example, we'll work on creating an output tag. Now you'll see here at the top, there are 2 checkboxes: Enable Output Scaling and Show Sending Control. Place a check mark in the Enable Output Scaling box if any scaling of the raw data coming in from the field is required. Once you place the check mark into the box, you'll notice several new fields appear at the bottom of the screen. Those fields will be used to convert the raw data values into scaled ones. For this example, we won't be needing any scaling, so I'll remove the check mark and those fields will disappear. You can place a check mark into the Show Sending Control box if you want to be able to send values down to the tag from iQ2. For example, if you want to turn a pump on or off, or maybe be able to send initial values down to a tag, you'll want to put a check mark here. Once that happens, the Sending Control button will then be available for that tag on the dashboard page for this device. Next, from the Raw or Scaled from RTU dropdown, select if the data is raw or scaled. Since we're not needing any additional scaling, I'll choose Scaled. Next, enter a meaningful tag name that describes what this tag is. For example, if this tag represented a motor, the tag name could be something like motor turbine. So go ahead and enter whatever name you like here. Next, select the data type. Is this a numeric or is it Boolean? What's selected here will determine which widgets will be available in the next drop-down menu. So for this example, we'll just go ahead and choose a bool tag. Now, since we chose bool, we have a few widgets that we have available to us to indicate an on-off state. We have a light bulb, status light, light switch, or we can even choose to display no widget at all. If no widget is selected, then the actual value 1 or 0 will be shown on the device dashboard. I do want a widget for this tag, so I'll choose a status light. Next, we come to units. This is actually an optional field, and it's used to sort of describe what the data is. For example, the data could be, feet or meters, or if it's temperature, maybe Fahrenheit or Celsius. Or since it's optional, you can just leave it blank. Now, since we're monitoring a motor, I'm going to go ahead and enter RPM. Moving on, we'll now select the type. Is this tag an analog, digital, float, or long? I know my tag is a digital out, so I'll choose DO. Now you'll notice a few new fields appear on the screen. These fields will be used to enter, enable, and disable text to display on the screen when the tag is active or inactive. So when the tag is 1 or active, I'll have iQ2 say motor running. And when it's inactive, I'll have it say motor off. Next, we'll need to enter the register number. This should be the same register that is configured on the Edge router's iQ2 configuration screen. Don't worry if you haven't set those up yet. We will cover that in another video. And lastly, what is the min and max to display on the screen? Since this is a bool value, it's pretty simple. It's 0 and 1. Now that everything is entered exactly how I want it, go ahead and click Add at the bottom, and then OK. Once that is done, the tag will then be added to the configuration summary over here on the right. Now we can continue adding more tags. Let's go ahead and add an input tag. As you can see, I have already filled in all the necessary information. So this time around, I'm going to need scaling, so I have a check mark in the scaled input scaling box. That means my raw or scaled from RTU dropdown is set to raw data. I have set the tag name to be tank level, and since this is going to be a numeric tag, I chose numeric in the next dropdown. Now I have a much longer list of widgets to choose from. For this tag, I will use a narrow tank. Next, I've set my units to gallons to represent the level. My input type is set to analog, and my register number I know is 102. And last, my display min and max will be 0 to 50,000 gallons. Now for the scaling. So my raw values that are coming in from the edge router have a min and max of 0 to 32,767. Yours will probably be different, so you'll need to determine what that range is from the OEM documentation of the device being monitored. Next, how will those raw values be scaled? I've set those values to show 5 and 49,500. Now all of my fields are filled in, so I can once again click Add and then OK, and the tag is placed in the configuration summary on the right. But this time it is put under Inputs. Now I don't need to add any more tags, so all I have to do is simply click Save Configuration and OK. Now those tags are added to the tag table on the device dashboard. One of the many benefits of iQ2 is that you can associate output tags with any input tag, which can make monitoring field equipment so much easier. Back on the device dashboard screen, choose the desired input tag you'd like to add an output tag and expand on it. Next, click Edit Tag. On the Edit Tag screen, you'll notice a new dropdown has been added called Paired Output. From here, every output tag that has been created is now available to link to this input. Say, for example, you were monitoring temperatures in a grain bin. You notice the temperature rising and it's much higher than it should be. Now, to get that temperature down, you want to turn the fans on in the bin. Well, without pairing this output with my temperature input, I'd have to locate that fan control tag in the output tag table to turn those fans on, and that's only if I had the Show Sending Control box checkmarked. If there are a lot of output tags in the table, that could also be quite cumbersome. But by adding the output for the fan tag to my input, I can now have those control capabilities available under the temperature input. So there'll be no need for me to search any further. I go back to device view. Now if I expand on my grain bin temp, my output tag is now there. This concludes our walkthrough of how to set up tags in iQ2. If you'd like additional information about iQ2 or any of the other many benefits that LEC has to offer, you can request that information by sending an email to info@lecinc.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos. Simply search LEC Inc. on YouTube to subscribe. From all of us at LEC, I'm Matt Kreitz. Thanks for watching.